I'm Vinod,
I'm Gavin. You're watching Throttle Talk.
and today we've got our very first manual car, a Civic Type R.
Let's see how many times he stalls.
Probably not too many.
Intersection on a manual. Should be fun. Oh, fuck, I stalled. Forgot to shift down. Stalled. Forgot this car had a clutch. Gavin, did I stall?
Now that you've seen the BTS, it's time for me to take this car for a proper drive. So, here's what I think of the car.
Now, the very first thing that I've noticed on this car is the suspension is very comfortable, even though it is a sports car, and we're currently on sports mode as well. And if you jump onto R mode, R+, the engine does respond a bit better, which is kind of cool. And this exhaust, because it is upgraded, it does sound nice. The problem with the stock Type R is the fact that it kind of sounds like shit, but this definitely sounds better. Now, I haven't driven a manual car in a while, well 6 years, and this is the first one. I've found driving this to be so much easier compared to any other manual car that I've driven. So it's really, what's the word, dummy friendly, for the lack of a better word. I'm the dummy here. And acceleration on this car, now despite this car only having 300 horsepower, it definitely feels very quick. That's because the car is very light. So yes, it doesn't have a 400 horsepower or 500 horsepower engine, but the 2-liter turbo, it does the job. It's not bad, honestly. It's quite good. Oh, it's very good. I just looked down at my speedo and I just realized that I've been speeding. Anyway, acceleration is very good. There is a bit of a turbo lag, but then the second the turbos kick in, it just goes, and it does feel very fun. This car is very nimble around the corners, and yes, for a front wheel drive car, I mean, front wheel drive cars do have better steering, but this is surprisingly good. It is really good. There's so much grip, no understeer at all, no oversteer. I am quite fascinated by how this car handles. Wow, just wow. There's literally no understeer at all. It is quite literally amazing. And on a hill, I think if you're in Adelaide and you like driving in the hills, the Type R is something that I would really recommend. I mean, we've driven multiple cars before, but this is amazing. Literally quite amazing.
Now that we know what it feels like to drive the Civic Type R, let's talk about what actually drives this thing. Underneath, we've got a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which absolutely looks fantastic, and it's got a 6-speed manual. And it's also the very first front-wheel drive car that we have on the channel.
Now, a good example of this would probably cost you between 42,000 to 55,000. Now, for competitions, you have the Ford Focus RS and you have the WRX STI.
And out of those two, I think, so the owner of this got this for 40k, and I think for 40k this is so much car.
Yes, because if you do get a WRX STI, which are good,
Yeah,
it does go for something a bit higher than that. And
yeah, but it doesn't look as race car as this.
Exactly. Ford Focus, that
Yeah.
is a hatch. This just has something a bit different.
This has more aura. Now, let's talk about some of the cool features of this Civic Type R. Normal boot extenders are boring, but the Civic Type R has got one of the best ones. But strength-wise, questionable, but it looks cool. Attention to detail in this car is amazing, and the seats do look cool as well. I mean, look at this seat, which has a Type R badge on it. And if you move on here, you do get an individual Type R number, so owners of this car can feel a bit more special. There's a feature for cable management in here, so you can get your cables and basically get it through here. Wait. There you go, so that your center console can look a bit cleaner. In our opinions, we think that the coolest thing about the Civic Type R is its exterior. But have they overdone it? Yes, they've overdone it, but I think the Type R is one of the best looking cars out there when it comes to sports cars. Kevin, thoughts?
As a JDM fanboy and fangirling at this point, so it is one of the most beautiful cars.
Yes, I would agree, because I think the front end of this car is one of the best looking, and it's like,
and also even the rear, like, but
Yes.
the front is just very
I think the front
bold.
is, yeah, I think the front is aggressive and pretty. That's why we like this so much. I mean, if you look at just the front splitter, very aggressive. This is obviously fake, and even the colors that they've gone for, the primary color as the main bumper and the secondary color on the grille and the red badging.
And then it's just the way that grille
Yes,
is placed. It's just quite different. and
literally.
nice.
And even the bonnet, I mean, look at there's an air scoop here, which is functional, by the way. And just the front end of this car is absolutely beautiful. One thing that I do love of this is the front headlights.
Yeah.
I think they've perfected it. And even on the newer generation, it does look good. But then every older generation, except for the EK9s, they've gone a bit wrong with the design for me.
Especially the generation before that.
Yeah, and wheels. Now these are obviously aftermarket wheels. 18-inch wheels at the front and the back, and you also got upgraded aftermarket side mirrors, which are carbon fiber. Now there's plenty of carbon fiber all around the car, which I do love. And
Which is aftermarket.
just the side mirrors, but the front diffuser, the front splitter, the side skirts, and the rear diffuser, they're all stock carbon fiber, which is amazing.
There's carbon fiber in the
Yes.
interior as well, which is nice.
And now let's move on to the back. I think it is aggressive, but then it's not as aggressive as the front, which is
Yeah, that's true.
a bit yeah.
I mean, there's two things that make it. No, actually, there's quite a few things that make it look a bit more aggressive. It's the double spoiler.
Yeah.
Is it very necessary to have?
No, I think the
top-
spoiler looks good, to be
Yeah,
honest.
like it is. No, I mean it's not necessary, but looks-wise, it is necessary.
Yes, this car isn't really a sedan. It's fine.
more of a hatchback which has a bit of a boot.
Yeah, it's like a sedan. It's like a hatchback that's trying to identify as a sedan, but it's just confused. That's what's going on. But before we go on the video, go check out Adelaide Detailing Garage. They are a detailing studio here in Adelaide. To be honest, there's no one that we would recommend more than Adelaide Detailing Garage. We work with them.
Yeah, it's not that because we work with them. It's just
Yeah.
because their work is simply
Fantastic. Honestly, the customer reviews that they get, everything about Adelaide Detailing Garage, their paint protection, their ceramic coatings, their color corrections, everything. The reviews that they get are absolutely amazing, and that's something that we can personally vouch for. So if you're in Adelaide, go check them out. So it drives like a sports car, it's got the engine of the sports car, and on the exterior it's one of the best looking cars out there. But what about the interior? Let's find out. Okay, the interior. First things first, not really a big fan of the interior. I don't really like the steering wheel. I think they could have done a bit more to make it scream Type R like the exterior. The quality is not bad, to be honest, but the thing is the interior. They've used carbon fiber, they've used this maroonish red. The thing is, it makes it look cheap, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's the problem. And Gavin, what are your thoughts of the design and the quality of materials used?
I mean, for a vehicle that looks good on the outside, the interior just doesn't hit that mark.
Yeah.
Like it hits a mark with the seats.
Yeah.
Because the seats very comfortable. Like and I expect this. Driving on R mode, absolutely sending it.
Yes.
You will feel locked in with the seat. And
Yes,
as car
yeah,
guys, you
yeah.
like seats like this. It's very comfortable. It hugs you, and
Yes.
you just don't feel like moving anywhere else.
Yes.
But almost everywhere, everything else about the interior is just
Basic.
subpar.
Yeah.
Like
Um.
Nissan with the GTR, the highest spec of their range, had one of the most nicest interiors I've
yeah.
seen in Nissan. Honda could have done better. Like I know
Yeah.
this is a 2017 vehicle. Like there is good things. Like I really like how the fact that there is only 4 buttons over here for the climate control.
And I'm really a
because-
big fan of that. I
I
see
mean,
that.
yeah, no, that's true. But like,
It
there's
just looks
some-
cheap. I mean,
it
look
does,
at
it
this.
does. I'm not saying about that. I like how it's minimalistic.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
fair.
like otherwise you have all these buttons and it looks
Yeah.
just even worse.
But yeah,
but
for me,
I would give it a 7 or a 6.5.
yeah, that's a fair number. This does get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which are good things. I do like it. Overall design, I think it's a bit too basic. It would be if a car guy or a car girl didn't see the
exterior and they got in this and they didn't even see the seats, they just looked at the cockpit, they would have been like, oh, it's just another Civic.
Exactly.
That's what it gives.
I mean, they could have done something to stand out.
Yes.
Because, after all, Type R.
Yes. And the thing is, I do like this aftermarket gear knob and this feature here. The seats are manually adjustable, they are not heated or cooled, which is not a problem, but I agree with Gavin. I think the interior doesn't really match the exterior of this car, so I would give it a 6 as well. Given that the interior was a big swing and a miss, let's talk about some more annoying features of this car.
Despite it being the high spec Civic, it's got power buttons over here and also over here. The stock Civic doesn't sound that good, but this has upgraded exhaust, which makes it sound a bit better.
Okay, what's the final verdict? So, here we go with the final thoughts.
Look, you all know I have a soft spot for Civics.
Yeah.
It's just not EK, it's like a lot of Civics. And this is just pure beautiful. Like, look, I know it has its flaws, the interior is not perfect, it's not too powerful, it's not loud, but look, it's a Civic Type R, which is basically a vehicle meant to be daily driven,
Yes.
which has 300 horsepower.
Yes.
It doesn't look too bad from the outside. It looks amazing.
Perfect from the outside. I love the styling.
It's one of the best looking cars out there for a daily drive. The interior could have had some work, but overall, look.
Porsche GT4. Anyway, back to this car.
For me, it's a 9. Like, yes, they could have tweaked it a bit more, but other than that, it's just, it drives nice, it handles well, it looks amazing. There's not much flaws that you could like think of when you think of a vehicle to daily drive like this. What do you think?
I think that this car is so much fun, especially on a windy road like this.
Yeah, exactly, and it's front wheel drive.
Yes, and it did surprise me when it comes to acceleration, which I think is mind-blowing because 300 horsepower isn't really much, but because this car is light, it's plenty.
True. It isn't much because every weekend we drive vehicles of high horsepower, like over 500 horsepower. So now it's not much.
Yeah, but this car is so much fun, honestly. It's so much fun. I do love this car, but to me, if I had to spend... Well, the owner got this for 40k. If I had to spend 40k, yes, I would get this. Because it's so much value for money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for 40k,
yes,
there's not much that you can get outside.
Yeah.
For a vehicle that you can daily drive, have fun, and actually be comfortable in it while you're driving.
Yeah.
When you're absolutely sending it through the hills. This is perfect. Like,
yes,
40 grand, it's mind-blowing.
Yes, to me, value for money, 10 out of 10.
Yep.
But passion-wise,
that's because you are not a fan of JDMs.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of JDMs.
Like, if it was a Euro spec car, which was, I don't know, something, you would have been, oh.
Yes. We finally parked. Anyway, overall, I would say 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for value for money, and then 6 out of 10 for my passion for it. 8, good number.
That's not bad.
That's where we leave the video. See you guys on the next one.
Like and subscribe.